what awakened you? And you said it was around 2002, around 9/11?
Two, 2003, yeah.
2003,
But
sorry.
it was 9/11. Yeah. Well, it actually started, I think, investigating. I was looking into uh, AIDS being a psyop at that time, and that led me to Infowars, which led me to Alex Jones, which led me to all the all the 9/11 stuff, and I was already sus. So since I already had suspicions about the day, and especially the way that they basically got to go to war with exactly who they wanted to go to war with, whenever none of the hijackers had that lineage. So that was kind of an open indicator for everybody, and I was against the war at that time.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if can you explain to us and the audience any the the theory you think is most sort of accurate around 9/11?
So I think that the planes were hijacked remotely, and that the guys were put on the plane in order to have to have people on the plane that they could blame for it. So they had these characters, these people that had learned how to fly. They weren't good at flying, and then they have this software called the Promise software, and it can backdoor into everything. So it just hacked in, boom, plane hits the building, and some people aren't gonna like that. I think that the building was pre-wired, but I think it was. So um, it just appears to me like it's controlled. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't look like it was that it's chaos, that it's just falling from that. So I think they wanted the building to go down. It was pre-wired. Planes hit it, so we got to see the circumstance that caused it to fall, and then it fell. It fell exactly how they wanted it to fall.
Do you think as well with 9/11 they used Islam as we've seen in the West over the past 20 years has been a real war on religion to try and sort of suppress it. Do you think they used Islam because Islam is quite a powerful religion? They used it to turn people against Islam.
I think that, yeah, you're always gonna find that as as an issue. The Crusades have never been resolved, but there is one of those three religions seems to really love pitting the other two against each other, so that you know they never look at them. But I think a lot more people are looking at that group that had, their secret service was quite involved in the 9/11 situation, but for some reason it's never mentioned. It's never ever mentioned whenever you're talking about, at least in the mainstream, it's constantly being mentioned that they had their hand in it. So um but it's just a typical, one group pitting their enemies against each other all the time. um I I personally don't have an issue with them. I just want them to do what they do in their countries, and us to do what we do in our countries. I'm not really big on, just mixing everybody up. I think that's where all the conflict is coming from these days.
The clash of cultures, right?
Mm.
Yeah, especially whenever it comes to religion.
Mm.
Yeah, because people are very they're strict on what their religions taught them in the past, and yeah, a lot of people don't like to adapt. We're seeing that with in the UK with the immigration crisis that you've probably seen on the internet that everyone's talking about, and how the fact that Rishi just isn't addressing it as if he wants it to be a crisis for as long as it possibly can. Um, so if you look at some of the way, like they're giving hotels, but the way they're living in the hotels, they're turning these, I think they're like 3-star, 4-star hotels, basically turning them into slums, just from the how long they've been there as well.